Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at the distance formula and how the distance formula is related to Pythagorean theorem and also how the distance formula is related to slope. So hopefully you remember that slope is rise over run of a line on the coordinate plane. So rise could also be a drop for a negative line, and then run, I like to always go right just to avoid confusion, but there's more than one way to do that. So the rise will be going up or down. The run goes left or right. There's also a formula we use. So again, M stands for slope, and the formula is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So you're just wanting to use this formula when you are given a set of points and asked to find the slope. So let's look at number 1. So there's a couple ways we can do this. We can label our points x sub 1, y sub 1, and then x sub 2, y sub 2, and then we can substitute these values into the equation. So if I'm looking at my equation, I would do y2 minus y1. So that means I would be doing negative 2 minus 7. And then at the bottom, I would do x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So that would mean you would do 3 minus negative 6. And then you would just simplify that. So negative 2 minus 7 is negative 9. 3 minus negative 6 is 9, giving us a slope of negative 1. So some people feel weird starting from the right and going left because normally we read from left to right. So I just want to show you that even if we did left to right, we would still get the same answer. So if I was just doing 7 minus negative 2, and on the bottom, still going left to right, I would do negative 6 minus 3. You would get positive 9 on top, negative 9 on bottom, and you'd still get an answer of negative 1. So it doesn't matter if you're going right to left when you're subtracting, or if you're going left to right when you're subtracting. What matters is whatever order you decide to go, that you keep that same order. So I can't go left to right and then go right to left. That's not going to work. So pick an order, stay with it. I generally just like to go left to right. So if we look at number 2, remember your y values have to go on top. So we would do negative 4 minus 9. And notice that I put an arrow so I know which direction I went, just reminding myself that I went left to right. And then your x's would go on bottom, so that would be 18 minus negative 8. Negative 4 minus 9 is negative 13. And 18 minus negative 8 is 26. And then negative 13 over 26 will simplify to 1/2. Go ahead and pause the video. Do number 3 on your own to see if you can get it right independently. So make sure you have your y's on top. This would have been negative 5 minus negative 6. X's on bottom would be negative 2 minus 4. And after simplifying all of that, your slope for number 3 should have been negative 1/6. So far, we have used Pythagorean theorem to help us find distances in a coordinate plane. So notice we're going to be working with distance formula here, but let's figure out how we even get the distance formula. So we're going to be trying to find the distance of this diagonal. So normally we would be using the Pythagorean theorem to do that. So we would have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So this could be my a and this could be my b, but the problem is We don't have any numbers, we don't have the coordinate plane, so we can't just count the boxes. I can still label these vertices on my triangle even if I don't have numbers. So we're just going to call this one right here, we're just going to call this the first point, which we're going to label x sub 1 and y sub 1. Now, if I want to label this point has a relationship with this point. Notice that they are even with each other, so they're going to have the same y value, but a different x value. So this bottom point is going to be x sub 2 because it's in a different place. And then the y value is going to be y sub 1 because this point right here is even with this point right here. So now I'm going to label this top vertex right here. So if we look at how the top point relates to this bottom one, so notice this point and this point, they're at the same x value. So that's going to be x sub 2, but is not at the same y value because this y value is negative, this y value is positive, so now I have a different y value. So we're going to label that y sub 2. Okay, so I'm still trying to find the length of this segment and the length of this segment, but I don't have any numbers. So if I wanted to find the distance from here to here, I'm going to be looking at the y values. So if I subtract these y values, that will give me whatever this distance is. So I could do y2 minus y1. That should look familiar. That is the rise from your slope formula. If I wanted to find the distance or length of this bottom segment, I have to look at the x values because the y values are the same, right? So if this one is a negative x and this one is a positive x, I want to find the distance between them. So to figure that out, we could do x2 minus x1. That should also look familiar. That's going to be the run from your slope formula. So we still have to connect this back to Pythagorean theorem. So I still don't know the length, but I have a formula that will give me the length of the legs of the triangle. So remember, when using Pythagorean theorem, this side is your A and this side is your B. So because I don't have a value for A, I'm going to use the expression we have that would give me that value instead. So we're going to substitute this in for A. So we are going to have x2 minus x1 squared. So my B term would normally come from this side. Because I don't have the coordinate plane here to count the boxes to figure out the length of B, this formula would help me find the length of B. So we're going to substitute this formula or expression in for B into the Pythagorean theorem. So this would be plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. And then that would be equal to d squared. And it's going to be d squared, remember, because c is my hypotenuse, which is right here. And if I'm trying to find the distance from this point to this point, I can say that the hypotenuse is now my distance. So if I was trying to solve for d, you would do the opposite of squaring a number, which would be taking the square root, which is the same thing I would do if I was solving for c. I would take the square root of both sides, and that would give me the c by itself. So if we square root both sides, this is what we get for the distance formula. So sometimes people get confused about the signs because we have two subtraction signs and then we have an addition sign. So understanding where this formula comes from kind of helps you remember what the signs are. So remember, distance formula is very similar to Pythagorean theorem. So when we're given a segment in a coordinate plane, but we don't know what the length of that segment is, we can subtract the values to help us find the length of the segment. So if this was my A, I would subtract these numbers to get the A term. And then the same would be for the B. If I don't know what the length is for this segment, I could just subtract the Y values and it would give me that length. So instead of putting the B, you would put the difference between the Y coordinates here and then square it. And all of these, when you add them together, would be equal to the distance squared. So that will help you remember that it's a plus sign in the middle and that subtracting the points will give you the distance. So that will help you remember that there's a subtraction sign inside the parentheses. So let's look at number one. We're going to find the distance between the points -8, 5 and 12, -3. So it's a little bit harder to use Pythagorean theorem to find the distance because normally we're just given a triangle and I get a value for A and a value for B and I just plug those numbers in. But I don't have those numbers. So we learned that we can subtract the X values or subtract the Y values to get that distance. So let's write down our distance formula. It always helps to write it down repeatedly to help us memorize it. So same with the slope, as long as you keep the order of subtraction, you will still arrive at the same answer. So even though it says x2 minus x1, which would have been 12 minus -8, if I go left to right on both my x's and my y's, I'm still going to get the same answer. So if I'm subtracting my x's, that would be -8 minus 12 squared. And then I'm going to subtract my y's, which would be 5 minus -3 squared. And that's equal to d. So now we're going to simplify what's in the parentheses. So -8 minus 12 is -20 squared. And then 5 minus -3 is going to be 8 squared equal to d. And then -20 squared is 400. 8 squared is 64. And then if I add those two together, I get 464. And then if you take the square root, we're going to round to the nearest tenth. So that's 21.54. I'm going to put approximately because we're rounding, so it's not an exact answer. So the 4 isn't big enough to change the 5. So the distance is approximately 21.5. So let's compare this to what it would have looked like if I would have used Pythagorean theorem. So remember, if I wanted to find the distance, I'd have to subtract the points, right? So if I subtracted these points right here, I knew that the distance between the x values was 20. So that would be 20 squared. And then for the y values, I was at 5 and -3, and the distance between those was 8. So that would be plus 8 squared is equal to c squared. So 20 squared is 400. 8 squared is 64. Hopefully you can see where we're going with this. 400 plus 64 is 464 equals c squared. You take the square root of both sides. And if you notice, this now matches what we were doing here. And when we were adding the a squared and the b squared together, that looks very similar to what we were doing in this step of the distance formula. So the only difference is we take the square root at the end when we're using Pythagorean theorem, and for the distance formula, all of it is under their square root from the beginning. So let's look at example 2. Using the distance formula to find the length of the line segments with the following endpoints. So again, I always like to write down my distance formula to help me memorize it. So first we are going to subtract the x's. So that's going to be 10 minus negative 8 squared. And then we're going to subtract the y's. So that's going to be negative 6 minus negative 3 squared. And then simplify those. So 10 minus negative 8 is 18 squared. And then negative 6 minus negative 3, that's negative 3 squared. And then 18 squared is 324. Negative 3 squared is 9. So now we get the square root of 324 plus 9, which is 333. And then when you take the square root, you get 18.25, and then we're going to round to the 10th. So the 5 is big enough to change the 2 to a 3. So the distance is approximately 18.3. So lastly, we're going to look at how this is related to slope. So remember, your slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And if you'll notice, you see these same expressions in your distance formula right here. So let's say that you were asked to find the slope between these points. So the slope would be negative 6 minus negative 3 on top. The x values go on bottom, so 10 minus negative 8. Negative 6 minus negative 3 is negative 3. 10 minus negative 8 is positive 18. And then if you notice, these numbers were the numbers we had right here after we had simplified this. So if you're asked in your homework, you're going to be asked to find both slope and the length of the segment using the distance formula. So once you find the slope, you can very easily substitute them into your distance formula and continue solving. So this slope can be simplified because 3 will go into 18. So we have negative 1/6 as the slope. So you just want to be careful. You don't substitute the simplified slope. These are the values you get after subtracting. So those would be the values that you plug in your distance formula. So there are some small minor shortcuts you can take to help minimize your work